Hello, everyone. Um, just an update on what's going on. As I told you, I got a couple attorneys that are very good friends of mine, um, and they're doing everything they can to help me, go after this company for what they did. But not to knock them, they're great criminal lawyers, and that's basically what they do. Um, and dealing with my situation, which is a contract dispute and a unfair trade practice of what they did in destroying me. This is not these lawyers' forte. So they're working really hard to, submit everything they can and try to get this company to sit up and realize they got to do something to take care of this. They can't just do what they think they want. But I had to go up here today to the lawyers and sit down for like 4 hours with them. And as I expected, this company is literally trying to bury my attorneys in paperwork. And they hit us with a ton of interrogatories that we had to answer. And, you have to answer these things within 30 days from when you get it. Otherwise, you hurt your case. But the amount of stuff they've asked for, it's ridiculous. I mean, they ask for things that don't even have anything to do with this, but I have to respond and answer to it. So, these attorneys, even though I'm trying to give them whatever I can, they're doing a lot of this work, uh, hoping things work out and, they'll be able to get paid right. And, like they said, I have a great case. There is no argument to my case. The problem is we're up against such a giant, and they have such big lawyers that they know these lawyers are not the type of lawyers to handle these type of cases, and they're just going to run my attorneys, through the mill. And like I said, we spent 4 hours today going over, some of the things and getting the information together to get back to them, and they just keep sending more requests and more requests, and I knew this was going to happen. So did the attorney. That they're just going to bury me in paperwork and and legal fees. I'm still really believing that if the public or somebody out there that has a talk show or a radio show or news agency, would take the time to see what's going on with us and verify everything I'm saying, which, like I said, most people can never verify everything they want to say like I can. I mean, I have proof on everything that everything that I'm making an accusation against. I can prove 100%. People will not have to sit and wonder this and wonder that, or sounds like he's telling the truth. Like I said, I listen. I have a lot of law enforcement experience. Um, as an officer of the court for a long time, and the warrant unit, and I've done so many investigations and and dealt with judges. Every judge in this city loved me because I was so good at serving these warrants. When they were looking for somebody, they would come to when they wanted somebody bad. They would come to me and ask me, would I take the warrant and work it? And a lot of these judges weren't even from the same court I was from. You have different types of courts. You got civil, you got family, you got criminal, and I basically, what I did, because it was something I really enjoyed doing, is I went after deadbeat parents. I don't want to say deadbeat dads, because we went after women that owe child support too. So I always refer to it as deadbeat parents. And I enjoyed nothing more than arresting somebody who was way behind in their support and getting him in that courtroom and having that judge tell him, you ain't going nowhere until you pay this full amount. I mean, some of these people I arrested were rappers that were very well known and famous and wealthy. In fact, it was ironic. I arrested this same guy 3 different times. Um, I'd get him in the courtroom, and the judge would tell him, you're 60,000 behind, and his lawyer would be there to pay it in full, and that was it. He gets to walk back out. He paid the money, and he walks back out. For months, he wouldn't pay her again, and then again, another warrant would come out, and I go get this guy again and bring him in. His lawyer would walk in and pay the court, and again, they walk out. Why he didn't just pay his support and save the trouble of me having to come lock him up? And, that's just the way a lot of these guys are. And there was a lot of people I went after. In fact, there was one case that really stuck big with me because there was a woman who had 4 kids, and she was so decimated, financially, and her husband left her really in a bad situation, and he had took off to Ireland. So for 5 years, this woman pleaded with the court and pleaded with everybody to try to get this guy, to get her money. She really needed it. And I happened to be in the office, the judge's chambers, when they were giving us our warrants and our work. And there was one warrant there, and they start talking about it, and that was this woman's case, that it's 5 years and nothing good has happened for her. And so I said, you know what, to be fair, they issued that warrant to me. I like to work. And they were like, the guy's in Ireland, what are you going to work? We know he's living out there. We checked, he moved. There's nothing we can do, with him being out there. And I said, I know, but, I have a lot of free time. So just issue me the warrant. And they did, and they gave me the warrant. And I went down to the Philadelphia airport. And I went to INS, and I went to Philadelphia police there, which I worked all the time with, because the Philadelphia police and our warrant unit worked together in serving these warrants. We served warrants for the police, and they would back us up on our warrants. And I went in and I talked to customs, everybody there. I went to all the different departments and gave them a copy of this warrant and told them, I said, this guy has really, destroyed his kids and his wife, so please do me a favor. So what they did was they put him on the list for the watch. And being as I had the warrant, they could do that. 3 days later, I get a phone call from one of the lieutenants at the Philadelphia Police Department at the airport, and says to me, hey, Joe, he says, we just got a hit on a warrant you put in here. That guy you're looking for is coming in tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. I was like, you're kidding. I said, all right, great. So, of course, that morning, next morning, I made sure I was at the airport early, and me and a couple of the police officers and a couple of TSA guys, we stood there and waited till the plane landed, and he came off, and he walked off the plane, and his family, his side of the family, there was a few people there waiting for him to pick him up. And as soon as he exited the plane into the airport, they identified him as the person, coming off the plane. And I walked up and I told him, I said, got some good news and bad news. Good news is your plane landed safely. Bad news is you're under arrest. And this guy was like, you gotta be kidding me. And I brought him back and I put him in, in a holding cell and all, and got in touch with the judge that was in charge of it, the case. Told him I had got this guy. And then I called the guy's wife, ex-wife, and told her, I said, I had called her when I got the warrant and told her, I said, look, I understand you've been waiting a long time for, some satisfaction with this. I said, but I took over this warrant, and trust me, I'm going to try to see if I can somehow get this guy for you. And she was like, yeah, okay, whatever, And when I called her that morning to tell her I had him in custody and he was now going to have to appear in front of a judge, boy, she came down that courthouse so fast. She wrote letters to the administrative judge. She wrote letters to my chief. She wrote letters, just thanking me. And he got in front of that judge, and that judge told him, you're going to jail, buddy. and he had to pay everything up to date, and he was, I think he gave him 30 days anyway, and all kinds of stuff. And she got her money, and it was a great thing. And I was very happy to get that for her. So yeah, I spend a lot of time working in the courts, and I understand how this all works. And that's why I said, I know what I'm up against with this legal problem I'm having because I'm familiar with the court and the court system and how it works, what don't work, and what they accept, don't accept. And I have to say, the family that's helping me, the attorneys, I don't know how to thank them enough because they're trying hard, but this company is going to make such a small offer compared to what I'm owed or entitled to and deserve. But they may make a small offer just to end this. And these guys are telling me, Joe, if that happens, we should take it and run and get what we can because if you keep going this way, we'll never get to see court because they'll just keep us tied up to where it'll take years before we ever see a courtroom. And that means that they're going to have a ton of money, invested, time invested. And when they're doing things for me, they're not working on cases that they get paid big money to work on. I mean, they get big money, these guys. This lawyer that's doing it for me was actually on, I don't want to misquote, I believe it was Time Magazine or one of the magazines as a super lawyer for Philadelphia. And that's what he is. He's a super lawyer, but he's a criminal lawyer. And this is totally different. And when he spends that time working on my case and filling, like today, 4 hours we spent working on the depositions, or I'm sorry, the interrogatories. And that wasn't even a quarter of the stuff they're asking for me to do. And it took 4 hours today, and it's probably going to be about 20 hours before we finish it all. Well, them 20 hours, he can be working on a case of somebody who has the money to pay him the kind of money he gets, and I really don't. I don't know how to thank them enough. But that's how much faith and how much they believe in me. And like I said, when it comes to Philadelphia and Jersey, pretty much the tri-state, it's incredible the amount of people that know me and like me. I don't have an enemy, And even though I worked as a warrant officer and arrested many, many people, I don't even have an enemy there. I actually treated these people good. If they got out of hand, well then, I did what I had to do. But I used to make them understand, hey, look, you're getting arrested. Don't make it worse. Don't be stupid. And once I had them in the car, and they were in the back, and the car was caged and everything, and they were cuffed, so I was secure and everything. And the guy was being a really decent guy and trying to explain why he didn't pay and different things. And if I got him on a Friday, they were going to spend the weekend up at CFCF in the holding cell until Monday, until I can pick them back up and take them down to the court and get them in front of the judge. And if these guys acted really decent, or they just said, look, I really don't have it because I lost my job, whatever. If they were good, I would say, look, you're going to be spending the weekend in jail until I come pick you up Monday. Have you eaten? And they'd be like, nah, not really. I'd say, all right, well, I'll stop and we'll get you something to eat. And they'd be like, I don't even have any money on me. And I'd be like, that's okay, I got you. And, I didn't care if it cost me $20 to buy my meal, and I'd buy him some food. And, I already searched him. I made sure he had nothing on him and he was safe. And like I said, I had a caged car and everything. So I would take the cuffs off and let them sit in the back of the car and eat their meal. A lot of them, smoke cigarettes, and when we got up to CFCF, we have a spot we could park to do like paperwork and stuff and just sit there if we want. So I would pull in that area before I took them in, and I'd let them smoke a couple cigarettes, sit in the car and smoke a couple cigarettes and finish their food, and then I would pull up to the gate and they'd open. I go in and and I have them processed and put inside. So, like I said, even though I arrested so many people, I don't even have enemies of the people I arrested. Um, because, like I said, I treated them right. And I thought I was really making a difference out there because I was changing their attitudes on what police are like. I used to tell them, not every cop's going to be an idiot there or treat you like an idiot. And um, one of the best things that my chief thought was just absolutely incredible was, I worked in some pretty bad neighborhoods, going after these guys, and it wouldn't be just one guy in that area. I might have 5 guys within a few block radius. And I would tell them, I'd say, listen, you see the way I treated you, and after I got you, and I took care of you, and I hooked you up, and I got you down court, and I got you straightened out, and everything, and I'm also looking for these guys that live within a couple blocks. Do you know these guys by any chance? And they'd be like, yeah, I know him. And I'd say, well, listen, because not everybody's going to have a really bad time. Some of these warrants were strictly where they wanted us to bring them in because what happens is they get arrested, they come in, they say, I never got the letter to show up in court. And it was becoming a problem. So what we would do is if they had what was called an FTA, a failure to appear, we would get a warrant and the warrant would say on it just an FTA. Now, if it was just an FTA, all we do is go find them, arrest them, bring them down to the courthouse, and they would just go in front of an advocate of the court and just have to sign a piece of paper stating that they now know they have a court date and they know the date and that they will return on that date. So some of these people I arrested and took down there only had to be there maybe 15 minutes, and then they would go in a room, sit down with this person, and they explain to them, all right, well, you didn't respond. We understand you're saying you didn't get the mail and you didn't know, and that's why you didn't show up. So here, now you're signing this, and now you do know, and if they didn't show up for that one, then they got arrested, and of course they had a lot harder time. So I told these guys, look, I'm looking for these 2 guys that live near you. You know them. Their warrants like yours. All I got to do is get them, bring them down there, and have them sign a subpoena that they will show up for the next court and that they know the date and everything, and they're out of there. Within 15, 20 minutes, they're done, and they don't have to worry about getting caught in the middle of the night and getting arrested or me coming knocking their door down, or whatever. And they would call them and tell them, dude, this cop's looking for you. Do yourself a favor. He says, and I was always straight with them. And if it was somebody who was a judge-only warrant, which means you're getting arrested and you're not going nowhere until you get in front of the judge, and if the judge is on vacation for 4 or 5 days, you're going to be waiting. If it was that situation, of course, I didn't do nothing. I just went and got them and arrested them and brought them in and, explained to them the situation they were in. But when I knew they were just the FTAs, where they were just going to have to come in and sign a subpoena and be released right away, I would let them know, why take all this chance of being in trouble, So these guys would call their friends and say, here's this cop's card, give him a call, he's got a warrant for you. But he says it'll be just like me, where he'll take you down there, you'll sign a subpoena saying that now you got court, and you'll be raked out. They'll let you go right away. Some of them I waited and even drove them back home because they had no way to get back home. Some of them I gave bus money to take back home. And I really thought I was making a difference out there because I worked in some bad neighborhoods and they really liked me out there. I mean, I got along with these people so good. And I'm not saying I didn't have fights with people and I didn't have people try to hurt me or didn't have people try to run on me. Of course I had all that. I dealt with all that. But there were so many out there I dealt with that I really felt I was making a huge difference out there and changing the way they thought and the way they felt. And when all this stuff happened and I got forced out of the job, it broke my heart. And I worked with a team of 12 guys, and some of them got really, really friendly with me, where we became really good friends over the years. And as I told you, I had my own businesses. I come from, a family business that was handed down, and And I was getting very good money from my company and making a great living. So I really didn't need the money I was making working for the warrant unit and the First Judicial District Courthouse. So I would literally take my pay for doing that and give it to the other warrant guys to help them out and tell them, look, I don't need this money. I really don't. I'm out of here because I like making a difference and I like doing something good and it makes me feel great and helping people it does. When you help people that really need your help, it's just an unbelievable great feeling. So I would give them my pays and tell them here, I know. I mean, these guys were working hard to try to make a living and struggling, and I was making very good money through my companies. So I would give them my money and all, and it's a shame because when I got got forced out of the job. If you watch my older videos explaining what happened with that, then you'll know how they forced me out. But I felt bad because I was a big help up there, and everybody was upset when I got forced out. But anyway, as always, these are just. Actually, today I'm feeling pretty good, as you can see. I did a video the other day saying bad day, and it was. It was a very bad and very hard day on me, and but today I'm actually feeling pretty good, and it's very rare that happens for me anymore. So instead of always coming on and saying something bad, just wanted to come on and say feels good to have a good day, and still looking for the public out there to help me. I don't need your money. Not that I have money, but I don't need your money. I just need your time. I need people to invest into looking and saying, hey, we're willing to join the movement of getting the media, getting the government, somebody to sit up and take a look at what's been done here, because this story has so many tentacles to it. I mean, this story just reaches out to different areas, different people. There's a lot of high-ranking people that are involved with this that, that would have to answer some pretty big questions. So, I'm still looking for the public's help and the people out there. But the only help I'm looking from you is to push my story, to pass it on. I need to get the public's attention out there, because I've said it over and over. There is nothing more powerful than the public's voice out there. When people organize and get together, that's the only time you'll see the government or anybody of any stature, sit up and actually want to listen and do something, because, and that's what I need. I need the people to start saying there's no way they would stand for what this has been done to me. And if that happens, I just might win this thing in the end. All right, everybody. I know this was a little long, but thanks for listening. And as I always say, God bless everybody, no matter which God you believe in or don't believe in. Take care of one another, because nobody else is going to do it for you. As you can see what's going on with me. Over 2 years I've been pleading for help, and I really haven't got any responses back, except for a few people that really seemed they went all out to help me, and they did videos on my behalf. So I got a few people to do it, but it's far from what I need. So like I always say, take care of one another out there. We're living in some very, very tough times, and I think it's only going to get harder out here. I feel sad for where this country is became and where it's headed. But that's for another whole thing. So if you can, please, pass this on and try to get people involved, because I'm never going to get satisfaction out of this unless, like I said, the people see I'm telling the truth and make a ruckus to where this company's just going to finally have to sit up and do the right thing. All right, everybody. Like I said, take care of each other. Lots of love to everybody out there, and if you listened, thank you so much. If you didn't, I understand. Many people got their own problems, and so even if you don't listen, I still wish you well. If you don't listen to the whole thing or get involved, and it's been a good day. For some reason, I just feel good today. All right, everybody. Thanks again, and guess I'll see you on the next video.